Welcome to another video, A Walk with Phil, and I'm here in West Bromwich, and today I'm in Dartmouth Park. Dartmouth Park is one of the premier parks here in West Bromwich, and I'm just going to have a look around, and I'm also going to see where the old boating lake used to be. I think many of you remember fondly of the old boating lake, and it's long gone now, but let's go and see what's there now instead, shall we? It was back in 1876 when the alderman Reuben Farley approached the Earl of Dartmouth, who had this huge estate in and around West Bromwich, about leasing some land to the people of West Brom to create a park. It was agreed, and they decided then to go about landscaping this park, the park area. And here is the main entrance to the park, with some very fine Victorian gates and the pillars with these fancy lantern type lights at the top of these pillars, and we've got, here's the main entrance. And so in 1878 the park was opened to the public, and 40,000 people apparently thronged to this area back on that day. But prior to that, they managed to get £300 to build this lodge, the Park Lodge here, in 1878. Here on the corner, do you remember the floral clock? Now I remember the floral clock. It's still going around in the 70s, early 80s maybe, but that's the thing that's now disappeared. I have memories of this park in the early 70s when we used to play football here on some of these fields that were dotted around here, and the lodge, in that lodge lived the park keeper. And strangely, it seems odd today, but this park used to close. I don't know if it still closes, but they used to close the gate at a certain time, maybe around 8 o'clock in the evening. And there used to be a bell that was sounded. I don't know if the bell came from the lodge itself or the park. He would ring a bell, but he would often be walking with a dog, notifying anybody who was still in this vast park that it's time to leave, and the gates would be closing. And when they saw us, he told us to leave. Yeah, I don't think that's a thing anymore. Let's go and have a look up here. You can see just ahead of me, they're all packing up, as there was Pat Collins Fair was here. Just at the front, ahead of me I should say, is a landscaped area now. A bit difficult to see from here, but you can see there's another entrance to the park just ahead. That was never a thing back in the 70s, but I think it might have been in about 2012. They created a new entrance to the park nearer the town. I think there was a toilet block on car park there at one time, but it's all been landscaped now. Right then, so just showed you the other entrance, the newer entrance to the park. This is the War Memorial ahead of us. I believe this War Memorial was unveiled in 1923. It commemorates those in the Great War from 1914 to 1918. Fairly quiet today, really. It's about 11 o'clock-ish on a Monday morning. We can take a look at this fountain here. This is one of the original pieces of sculpture here in Dartmouth Park. It's a fountain, no longer working, of course. Look there. Dartmouth Park restoration 2010, so it was obviously in need of some work, and the inscription above reads, presented by the Right Honourable the Earl of Dartmouth. You can see in Dartmouth Park there's a lot of landscaped areas now for plants, and they've got a team of volunteers that keeps this park looking very neat and tidy, and you can see litter doesn't seem to be a thing at all. Lots of benches and seating areas to sit amongst these landscaped areas of plants. Okay, what I'm looking at here is the pavilion. On here there used to be another building called the refreshment room. I know I must have seen it, but you can't never remember it. And got burnt down in 1983, I believe, and in its place is this. And I'm going to have a look inside it, see what we can see in here. It says the building's closed at 2:30. There's some boards here giving you a timeline of the park. Many times I walk up here and everything's shut. This one's always got a padlock on it. And if you look through there, you can see there is some information boards in there, but you don't appear to ever have any access to them. There's also some kind of ice cream parlour of sorts there that's never open. I think this building's just primarily open for the toilets, which are just up those steps. Other than that, I'm baffled as to how you get up there. These like wooden walkways. Okay, so we carry on. Dartmouth Park. And in the park they have created a kiddie area with their slides and sand and stuff over there. And just over there, amongst all the trees, there used to be a building. It was like a concert hall where people would used to have concert performances and sing on there and what have you. Yeah, I think I remember it. And if you look over there in the distance, we've got another play area. And I'm walking this across the grass here because I want to show you something that was very popular in the day. I think it got closed down because I think it was something to do with health and safety again. Yes, back in the day in 1878 when this park was opened, it cost £2,500 to landscape it. But anyway, here was the kids' paddling pool area, and if any of you remember it and you now come to want to use it again, this is it. It's now just another area where you can sit around and play, but as you can see, this is the remnants of what once was the paddling pool area for the kids, but it's all gone now. So I don't think the kids anyway in Dartmouth Park now have a paddling pool area any longer. There used to be most parks would have a paddling pool area, but for health and safety grounds I think they've all gone now. Anyway, Another thing about Dartmouth Park which they've introduced is lighting. As you can see, there's lots of lighting now along the pathways of this park. You can see there's lots of lighting that's being created along these pathways, these tarmacked pathways all around the pool. And we're going to go down to the pool now because this is where we've come for the boathouse, because this was once the boating lake. Okay folks, so here we are then at the boating lake. Just there on the left, where all those seating area is, that was the boathouse, where all your boats would be kept. And a bit difficult now to actually determine the positioning of all these little buildings that were around here, along here where the boats are. And yeah, coming number 7, as you would take your boat out for a trip up the lake. And we'd be crossing the island, we're going towards the island over there. Yeah, you can see it's full of ducks, more ducks. And ahead, yeah, you can see that island where you take your boat and you would circle that little island ahead. And all along this pathway, plenty of seating again. It has to be said that Dartmouth Park is a very lovely park. Okay, I think we've got a good view here of the back of the island. That's right, there you go. So that's where you'd be taking your boat round there. And of course many of us who used to take these boats out would be out there obviously going past our allotted time, and you would hear in the distance somebody using a loudspeaker, megaphone, shouting coming number 7, coming number 9. You would always hear that when you were around the boating lake. You go through that gate, that'll take you down towards Sandwell Valley and the large yachting pool they've got there, or lake. And if you're from West Brom, you would know it as the Wasson. The boating lake actually was opened in 1887. That's how long ago it was opened. And it went for nearly 100 years. It didn't make the centenary. A lot of the people decided they didn't want to use the boating lake any longer. And of course, with all the high maintenance costs involved in maintaining the boats and the lakes in good order, then they decided, well, it wasn't worth it. I think they closed it down. And eventually the boathouse itself was burned down. You can see ahead of me that brick wall there ahead, that's where the boats would have been. Dartmouth Park was eventually given to the town as freehold, and in 1938, near the Beaches Road entrance, they built tennis courts and miniature golf course. Well, the miniature golf course and those tennis courts finally disappeared when they made the expressway in 1973. Here is, this building here is where you can hire a bike to ride around the place. And there is a fair of sorts there, where you've got rides, etc. for the families there in the distance. And there's all car parking here ahead of me. Look straight up there. You can see how this park rises on the side of a hill. It's quite hilly actually. If you haven't been here for some time, maybe you might want to come and have a look, because there's always lots of events taking place here on the park. Okay, I'm just coming up towards the pavilion once more, and I've been informed that getting up to the very top there of the pavilion is no longer an option. It's all locked up and boarded off, so you can't get in because of health and safety and constant hooliganism and antisocial behaviour. They boarded it all off, so you are no longer able to climb the steps to have that bird's eye view of the park. When we talk of building these structures, why didn't they think of that in the first place, that there could be an health and safety issue? But short-sighted, I suppose. They should have been constructed with something similar to what was used to be before, certainly not something like this. Have a look at the bandstand. This is the last thing I think we can. There was a bandstand here in Victorian times, but I suspect that this is a replacement for the original. I'm not sure how often this is used, this bandstand, for concerts, but I understand there was one in 2017, but surely it's been used since then. Yeah, it could have been the 1930s when the original was replaced. Okay then, okay folks, so there's the bandstand for you. Many parks had a bandstand, didn't they? I'm not sure why during the summer, maybe a Sunday afternoon, that the band can't strike up once more and entertain the people of West Bromwich, because we got a bandstand and it ain't used as far as I know. I'm just on the main drag back up to the main gates with a war memorial ahead of us. There was a depot there, a works depot for the park. That's now been demolished and they've created a car park. Okay then folks, so that was our little walk around Dartmouth Park, and I hope it's brought back a few memories for you, especially the boating lake. Sadly there's nothing left of it at all now, is there? But it's a very attractive park though, that's for sure, and it's a lovely place to be when it's sunny like today. And yeah, so there you go. So I hope you liked the video, and if you did, hit the like button and also hit subscribe, and also hit the notification bell for future videos, and I'll see you on the next one.